Sure.
Assalamualaikum, salam Malaysia Madani and salam IPG Peneraju Pendidikan Guru Bertaraf Dunia. Good morning and a warm welcome to Language Lab 2. Before we begin, here is a quick reminder about the time management signals for today's presentation and Q&A session. During each presentation...
Okay, sorry. You guys are okay with the rules, right? Skip it to the straight away, introduce the...
Alright. This session will be evaluated by Madam Nuriza binti Abdul Razak and Miss Nur Atika binti Muhammad Nori. Now, our first presenter is Nur Amila binti Mat Kasim, who will share her research on perception of RPG KDRI as a teacher trainees toward the use of flipped classroom in enhancing reading comprehension skills. Please join me in welcoming Nur Amila.
Okay, may I start now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So, Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. I speak to Madam Nuriza Abdul Razak and also Miss Nur Atika Muhammad Nori. So, for today, I, Nur Amila binti Makasim from Semester 2 PISMP June 2021-2025 under the supervision of Dr. Nuriza binti Abdul Aziz will be presenting on my research entitled The Perception of IPGM KDRI Semester Teacher Trainees Towards the Use of Flipped Classroom in Enhancing Reading Comprehension Skills. Okay, next slide. Okay, so this is the background of my study. So first, based on Ministry of Education in 2013, the Malaysian government aims to provide virtual learning. This is why in the first place I decided to do this research because I want to find out about this virtual learning which is called flipped classroom. Through flipped classrooms, every student is capable of learning and achieving proficiency in reading skills, which is highlighted by Ilian and Hamadi in 2018. So, flipped classroom is a strategy where students have to comprehend the materials by reading independently at their own pace, and then they will have in-class discussion with their peers and also with the educators. So, it is claimed by Arya Shah et al. In 2023 that traditional classroom is less engaging practice and not as effective as flipped classroom. Okay, next slide. Okay, so this is the statement of problem. So a study by Nguyen et al. 2023 shows reading comprehension is difficult, which causes college students to face challenges. So these pre-reading activities in flipped classrooms can improve comprehension and schema acquisition, which is stated by Arfan Fahmi et al. In 2024. So because I have done my research, by reviewing the past researchers that the use of flipped classroom in enhancing teacher trainees reading comprehension skills in Malaysia is under research. That is why I decided and I'm interested to do this research. Okay, next slide. So the purpose of my study is to identify whether the flipped classroom has been perceived positively or negatively on teacher trainees in terms of their reading comprehension skills. Okay, next. So these are my research objectives together with my research question and my hypothesis. Okay, next slide. So my significance of the study is because flipped classroom is gaining its recognition in these recent years due to the integration of ICT and because it is support for 21st century learning skills which caters to the current demands and needs of educational aspect. So that is why I think that my study is significant for also as the foundation for future research. Okay, next. So these are my research theories, which are the first one, schema theory and social cultural theory. For schema theory, which is introduced in 1932, this theory supports flipped classroom, where students review materials before class to prepare for their active learning. And this pre-reading helps students link their information to what they already know, improving their understanding, which is stated by Ma in 2021. Okay, so this is aligned with flipped classroom because they need to understand the materials given before they enter the class, so then they can discuss with their peers and maybe present the inputs. And then for social cultural theory, which is developed by Lev Vygotsky in 1978 in active learning, based on constructivity theories, students build their own understanding and take on active role, which is stated by RP in 2020. So this aligns with the flipped classroom strategy, where students collaborate in class to solve problems and also share different perspectives, because they need to exchange their materials and ideas with their peers. So this also build their social interaction and also align with the social cultural theory. Okay, next slide. So these are my related past researches. I have reviewed some researches which about flipped classroom. So the ones that I will highlight is from Vita and Algori, which is the research results are uncertain, providing limited useful information about reading skills learning outcome, which is why I want to find out further about the use of flipped classroom in terms of reading comprehension skills. And then the one that I will highlight is the one from Garcia Ponce and Mora Pablo in 2020, which is the students have a positive attitude, recognizing the benefits of the method and understanding how the flipped classroom works. So I want to find out whether the students in IPGM KDRI also have the positive perceptions towards the use of flipped classroom. Okay, next. So for my research design, I have conducted a quantitative approach, which I have made a survey, which is a questionnaire. So for the population and sample, I have chosen the population 99 from the PISMP TESOL 2020, 2027 intake, PISMP TESOL 2023, 2028 intake, and PISMP TESOL 2024, 2029 intake teacher trainees. And then for the sample, I have chosen 80 teacher trainees, which is based on Tracy and Morgan in 1970. Okay, next. So this is the instrument, which is the questionnaire. This questionnaire has been adapted from a study carried out by Al-Harbi and Al-Shumameri in 2016, entitled The Flipped Classroom Impact in Drama Class on EFL Saudi Secondary School Students' Performances and Attitudes. So this questionnaire consists of 30 items, which have been divided into 8 sections. Okay, next. So this is the research procedure. Okay, next. So this is how I collected the data. Okay, next. So this is how I analyze the data, which is I use descriptive analysis and also inferential analysis. For descriptive analysis, I analyze the mean and standard deviation of the responses. And then for inferential analysis, I use independent sample t-test, which is I use the p-value from the result of the t-test. Okay, so this is the findings and discussion for my RQ1, which is what are the perceptions of IPGM KDI TESOL teacher trainees towards the use of flipped classroom in enhancing reading comprehension skills. So for the overall mean for the whole survey is 4.24, which is the mean score is very high, and it is according to Modini 2009, which means TESOL teacher trainees perceive flipped classroom positively. Okay, so for the effectiveness of classroom time and also technological and resource support, these two aspects of the use of flipped classroom have the highest mean score, which means that teacher trainees or TESOL teacher trainees perceive that these aspects are important for them to improve their reading comprehension skills during flipped classroom. So for technological and resource support, they view the availability of the resources and the technological support as the beneficial for their comprehension skills during flipped classroom. And then for effectiveness of classroom time, they view they claim that they can use their ample time to comprehend the materials given during the classroom, and the classroom provides them the benefits to use the time to engage with the content of the materials. And then for the one with the lowest mean score will be the autonomy and authority. which is 4.14. So some I can say from the based on my findings, most of the teacher trainees states that they can they can have independent learning sessions, but some of them may have difficulties in working hard by themselves, like reading independently. So they need to discuss with their peers for further explanation and insights. Okay, next. For my RQ2, the findings and discussion, is there any difference between the female and male TESOL teacher trainees of PGM KDRI on the perceptions towards the use of flipped classroom in enhancing reading comprehension skills? So based on the t-test result, you can see that the p value is below 0.05, which is the overall p value is 0.362, which means there is no significant difference in the result. So the null hypothesis that I have made before is accepted, which means there is no significant difference between female and male TESOL teacher trainees on perceptions towards the use of flipped classroom in enhancing their reading comprehension skills. Okay, next. So these are the conclusions that I can make that can be summed up from those this research objective. For RO1, it can be summed up that the perception of IPJM KDRI TESOL teacher trainees towards the use of the classroom in enhancing reading comprehension skills are significantly positive. And then for RO2, the perception towards the use of the classroom in enhancing reading comprehension skills reveal no significant disparity between male and female teacher trainees. Okay, next. So these are the recommendations for future research. I recommend for future researchers to focus on other language skills such as writing, speaking, and listening to analyze and to gain deeper insights about the classroom broader applicability, and then maybe they can employ qualitative research by doing semi-structured interviews, document analysis, and whatnot. And then for the types of technology and resources used during flipped classroom, it also can be studied what are the best digital platforms that can be used for flipped classroom. Instead of using only Google Classroom, maybe they can explore various digital platforms for flipped classroom. Okay, so next. So these are the implications. For the first one we have here, TESOL curriculum design. So maybe they can create resources and materials that encourage pre-class preparation, which fosters student autonomy and engagement. And then for TESOL teacher trainees, they can explore alternative strategies to sharpen their reading comprehension skills instead of just stick to the traditional method. Okay, next. So these are the references that I have used. Okay, so next. Okay, that's it from me. Thank you for listening. Any questions?
Okay.
Before we leave, I would like to ask the panelists if there are any questions.
Okay, then.
Yes, I'm seeing. Okay, Nur Amila.
Yes.
Okay, your research focusing on the use of flipped classroom in enhancements of reading comprehension skills. So can you, okay, so what's your rationales of including the sections in your questionnaire, sections D, E, the motivations, engagements, autonomy, authority? Those are the factors that but you don't study focusing on the factors, isn't it?
I focus
In
on
the research,
perceptions.
because regarding to your research patients and your research objectives, you did not mention that. Right. So what's the rationales of do you have it in the factors?
It is not the factors, actually more towards the use of the classroom, which is it can enhance the understanding and comprehension skills, and then enhance the reading comprehension skills development, and increase motivation and engagement. So it is further for the typo here is it's not per section, actually it is the uses of the classroom, which is I divided into 7 sections from B to H. So the uses of the classroom here is I want to identify whether the student perceive those uses of the classroom as effective or not.
Okay. You have 3 items there, meaning each section will have different items, yes? Okay. What we're trying to see here is that based on that, section B until H, which one goes for reading? Which item that would ask or assess their perception on reading? Obviously, it's B. Which one?
It's more towards B and C actually.
B and C.
Yes.
Okay, so the rest would be under flipped classroom. Yeah.
Uses of the classroom.
Yeah, so because I can see when for section D, section H, everything else is actually contributing to the factors of of using classroom. That is what we're trying to see. That is what we see lah. Because the way once you choose your instrument, that would drive your finding. But your finding here shows that as if like you are looking at factors of what? Of what's in flipped classroom that would actually continue? That would actually what? You have to understand what we're trying to say here. That sorry?
The use of the classroom in enhancing comprehension.
Yes, which factors? Is it the motivation? Because a lot of sections there, I was actually quite impressed. And then you have 30 items. I just want to know, for instance, for section H, how many items you have under that?
Random.
This is a suggestion. This is just a suggestion because with my thesis back then, I usually do a lot of technological tools. So usually, if you are using technological tools, anything, you segregate it between reading one section, flipped classroom one section. That's it. Under that one section, 2 items on motivation, 2 items on autonomy, for instance. But you are talking as a flipped classroom as a whole, overall, because when you put it like this, as if you're looking at so many sections.
At least for each section, you have maybe 10 questions. If you have how many sections? 2, 4, 6, 8. Meaning you have about 80 questions.
Kalau 80 question kan?
Do you have the questions?
Yeah, the question
At least, for section D, I just want to see.
Did you bring anything? Huh? Okay.
Boleh nak tengok.
Okay. Yeah, I understand. Yes.
So the motivation and engagement.
The rest get ready if it's an instrument in case you want to see your instrument. Ya, ini je. Itu bawah tu lah. Itu bawah step 1 je lah. Teknologi. Teknologi. Ni ada classroom sekali. Cuma itu kan. Si instruction ni letak di classroom. I understand this. What do they perceive of this?
Something that they can relate, they make it in one section.
Our concern is too many. The items. Okay. Alright. Can you go to your, this will relate me to my next question. Can you go to your findings? Okay. So these are the total overall mean for every section. Am I right? Okay. That's why when I see it macam how are you going to explain it? Because you can't be, how do you get the mean score is high to very high? If you put like this, okay, there should be one total overall mean dekat bawah tu. So you say it's 4.2. When you say overall 4.2 tu, it's the whole thing ke?
Yes.
Okay. But then if you put it like that, we don't know which one is for reading, which one is for classroom. You get me or not? This is a suggestion lah. Once you have a more structured table, let's say table RQ1 for reading contohnya. Because your RQ is okay. It's just that once we look at your finding, we go looking back to your RQ. Okay. I wish there would be another RQ. The RQ3 is RQ2. First is actually looking at the RQ1 is on the perception on the use of flipped classroom, right? And then RQ2 can be maybe the relationship between reading comprehension and the effectiveness of need. Then you get that. Why is it effective? Motivation. Why is it effective? Can you see? The RQ3 then only the significant difference between the gender. Because you have I think you have quite a lot of findings, tapi you just want to see the perception, but then you are giving key factors. Okay. So this is to all as well. And to have a mean and SD table, you have to specifically show 4.24 to make it bigger so you can see it's very positive. But if you can see from there, 4.24 at the highest would be 4.34. Okay, and that item is under flipped classroom kan, not related sangat directly to reading, right? So but then your topic is on enhancing reading comprehension, so it becomes a confusing punya statement kat situ for me lah when I look at it, because I happen to do things like this as well. Okay, I think is there anything else, Eliza? That is a suggestion. Okay, I think that would be all. Are you sure you are? Do you understand what this Aukun is saying? Okay. Okay, thank you, Amila. All right, thank you, everyone.
Okay.
Thank you to our panelists for their questions and feedback, and to the presenter for their thoughtful responses. Our next presenter is Nur Humaira Aslami binti Muhammad Hanif, who will present her research on the challenge faced by English teachers at SK Sendial as rural primary school and in English community. Oh my God.
Okay, may I start my presentation? Okay. Alright, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I greet to our dear panelists, Ms. Atika, Ms. Muhammad Nuri, and Ms. Nafisa, binti Abdul Razak. So, and of course, my dear committees and fellow audiences.
I'm sorry.
Well.
Can we get your slides?
Oh, I'm very sorry. I'm too excited that I forgot.
It's okay.
Okay, here are the two copies. Can you pause the time for a while? Pause the time? Okay.
It's okay, so leave it there. Thank you.
I'm very sorry.
No problem.
Okay, then, so the title of my research is The Challenges Faced by English Teachers at SK Sendial as a Rural Primary School in Negeri Sembilan. Specifically, a rural primary school in Negeri Sembilan. So my supervisor is Mr. Chan. Okay, next. So here's the agenda. Next. Here are the agenda. Okay, so what driven me to study this research? So let me first tell you about my experience in visiting certain schools that might be rural primary schools. So there are 4 schools that I have visited in 3 months and 2 weeks approximately, which the 3 months is the practicum school that I've been to, and the 3 weeks is 1 week off from PBS. So the 3 weeks I've been to are the rural primary schools in Negeri Sembilan, which are SK Pelajar 3, SK Pelajar 2, and SK Pasir Ambu. So, however, I've never not mentioned SK Sendial, right? Because I actually wanted to focus on SK Pasir Ambu, but the sample is not enough. There are only 1 teacher. There are a total of like 7 teachers and 30 students in SK Pasir Ambu, so there are not enough samples. while in SK Celia there are about 15 teachers and 170 students in SK Celia. So another reason is that I witnessed those schools. If we heard about rural, we also witness about lack of resources and access to technology, and as well as environment that cause them to take English as second language lightly. And another thing, I have a personal reason of why I choose this topic for my research is that I grew up in Negeri Sembilan and I have this ambition to support English rural teachers to equal chance of success in language learning outcomes and accountability as urban primary schools. Okay, so I want to engage myself. Although I am just a trainee teacher, I want to engage myself in effortness in order to improve these rural primary English teachers challenges in rural primary schools. Okay, next. Okay, so what is the problem statement? Is that the English language teaching at a primary school, rural primary school in Negeri Sembilan, SK Celia, face several significant challenges that are hindering effective teaching and learning. So here, the issue is that the challenges such as maybe resources, environment, student performance, there are a lot of challenges that will lead to rural primary schools. I want to emphasize that I don't want to, before I move on, I don't want to emphasize on trying to compare between rural schools and urban primary schools, right? I just want to focus on the English teachers' challenges in rural primary schools. Okay, next. Okay, so my purpose, okay, as I said before, to explore the challenges faced by English teachers at a rural primary school in Negeri Sembilan and potential solutions for the barriers without disrespecting the values and dignity, but to enhance their quality as most teachers need. So potential solutions are the one given by the English teachers that they have done before to overcome the challenges that they have. Okay, next. Okay, so my research design is a qualitative approach, which is a case study. Okay, case study is like something that you focus on, right? That's something a big issue. So I consider this a big issue because I really went to the schools and such as SK Pasembu. SK Pasembu is actually more rural than SK Celia, but as I said, there's not enough sample. So SK Celia is the one that I went to because I have acquaintance there, which is Puan Saleha. So I went to that school also, and it has this quite similar characteristics of rural primary school. Okay, so the research objectives are to identify challenges faced by English teachers at SK Celia, Rantau Negeri Sembilan, and potential solutions and strategies after analysing the barriers to effective English language teaching in SK Celia. And research questions: what? So there are what and how for my qualitative research. What are the challenges of rural settings facing English language teachers in SK Celia, Rantau Negeri Sembilan, and how to overcome barriers to effective English language teaching in SK Celia by solutions and strategies suggested and done by the English teachers at the school. So we cannot just suggest something, right? We must have done it. So let's like that. Okay, next. Okay, see, here are the significance of research. It's first to implement quality strategies for the challenges, and then provide insights for the English teachers in other rural schools who have similar challenges, and then recognize other possible obstacles with solutions for the similar challenges, and to give insights to the school administrators, the MOE, and the English language department in this, to be concerned about these challenges that is faced by the English teachers at rural primary school. But I just specifically said that SK Celia. But if the schools have similar challenges as SK Celia. Okay, next. Okay, here I just read my research underpinning theory. I'm sorry if I might too fast. If you want me to slow down, I can just slow down. Okay, it's okay. Am I the right pace? Okay. Okay, so here are the theories. They are actually it's not in the format, but I just paste it here to show you that I have the theories presented. They are general elements of rural settings in Negeri Sembilan. The challenges faced by English teachers in rural primary schools, and English as a second language in Malaysia. These all are my variables for my conceptual framework. Next. Okay, so this is also not in the format, but I just want to show you as a place of my thesis because this also helped me to do my research, manuscript. And then, so The IB, which is independent variable, is the elements of rural settings. And then the dependent variable are the challenges faced by English teachers, and the moderator variable is the English second language. So how English second language be the moderator? Because if it's like how English is a priority for the community, such as the students and the parents and all, that would affect the challenges faced by English teachers. Okay, next. Okay, here are my past researches. There are a total of 9 past researches that I have looked into, but I want to focus on the 2 that are quite similar to mine, that not like quite similar to mine, but the most close to my research. Okay, it's by Bushan and Azina Abdul Aziz in 2022 and Farouk and Farila in 2021. So, in findings by Bushan and Azina Abdul Aziz is that they reveal a myriad of issues and challenges in teaching English in rural settings, which have thwarted the development of English language education in rural setting. And another finding is that by Farouk and Farila is that they depicted that a majority of respondents demonstrated positive language learning readiness and attitudes, but it did not change the fact that due to their low level of proficiency in the target language, a majority of them experienced anxiety and lack of confidence in learning in the English language. So you can see that, I want to actually say that they also focuses on the challenges of teachers rather than like if we want to teach our students, we have to look into ourselves. If we can overcome the challenges first, then we can teach our students properly. Okay, next. Okay, here are the other 5 past researches. They are quite far from my research, but they can be looked into as well. Okay, next. Okay, here are my population examples. So my population. So I look into the teachers. The characteristics of the sample is that the teachers must teach English as second language major in a primary school and experience to at least 3 years. And the school is also identified as rural by the MOE, and also the teachers are from the same school. Okay, so I do my interviews, observations, and document collection. Observations at the school during teaching and learning process, and then documents collection as well. Okay, next. Okay, here are my research instruments. The first one is the protocol of interview form through Google Meet. I done the Google Meet, and then I put the answers based on what was said. Every detail of what was said by my participants. There are 3 participants overall. Okay, next is observation. Okay, protocol observation. Okay, next. Okay, and this one is my document analysis form and checklist. So all these instruments, they are to be utilized in this. They are utilized in this study and not separate in distinct processes, but rather interconnected and mutually supportive. Okay, next. Okay, here are my research procedures. There are a total of 10 steps. So first, I ask permission from my supervisor to proceed my research after the proposal, and then I identify key research questions and meet a research expert for validation. And then I conducted a pilot study from another school. I chose this pilot study from SK Pasir Ambo because there is only one English teacher there. So I chose that one for my pilot study because he has the same characteristics. Okay? And for verification, which means that the pilot study participant verify my instruments. And then I identified sample from SK Seliao and present myself with a letter of permission, and then I asked consents from the English teachers, 3 English teachers to participate, and kindly requested documents from them to do my document analysis. And then I collaborated with my supervisor to develop interview and observation protocols through Google Meet, and then I transcribed the interview to document into my data analysis. After that, I implement observation and protocols, analyze all data and refine them through triangulation, and then concluded the analyzed data with discussions and all documented in my research manuscript, added with recommendations and implications. Okay, here are my data collection procedure. Okay, you can just go to the next slide. Okay, this is my primary resources for my data collection procedure is directly from the teacher themselves. Okay, here this is my first participant, Mr. Shan, my second participant, Madam Sani, and my third participant, Madam Nurin. Okay. So this is the observation I've done at the school. I observed the rooms and the environment of how it can be conducive for English learning, and also I kind of asked them. I asked them to do an observations in for 2 classes, because I only do it on participant 1 and participant 3, because participant 2 is not available to do the lesson for me. It's not available at the time. Okay, next. Okay, and then I do my data analysis. I do a descriptive, deductive, descriptive, thematic analysis through a steps of thematic analysis by Bernard, I believe, 1995. It starts from formalization until the for the production of report, and this is my triangulation that I use for my refinement of data. Okay, next. Okay, here are my data analysis. This is the descriptive one. Okay, next. And this is the thematic analysis. Okay, as I mentioned here, I actually bring my manuscript, but then it's okay. We just proceed. Next. Okay, here are my data findings. This is the demographic of data respondents, the participants. Okay, so they all have experienced more. There are more than 3 years which reach my characteristics of sample, and both of them are expert teachers. So we can see that they have all of them actually have quality of education, because they all took masters for their education. Yeah, and all of them have English language as their major, and all of them are from SK Sediau. Okay, next. Okay, here are my data findings. So actually, from my RQ1 challenges of rural setting faced by English language teachers in SK Sediau around 2009, there are actually a total in my code of reference for my analysis. There are actually a total of 13 codes of themes, but I excluded one because it's not actually the challenge. It's actually the challenge to the challenge. It's like so these are the challenges. Okay. Okay. First one. This is KRUC is the knowledge of rural and urban context. So before I ask them questions about what challenges do they have, I ask them what are the definitions and rural and urban context. So that if they want to tell me about challenges at the school, they have to know that their school is a rural primary school. So all of them give me the definitions. Participant 1 and participant 3 give similar definition, which is that the rural primary school is far from the urban one, which is about 20 to 25 kilometers. And then the participant 2, she said that she gave the definition of rural as from MOE, which is if the MOE define that school as rural, then it is rural. If it not defined as rural, it is not rural. So it depends on the MOE. Next is workload. All of them mention about workload. I want to emphasize that if it does not tick, it doesn't mean that the teacher have that challenges or do not have that challenges. It just means that they do not explicitly address that type of tick. So yeah, my data findings. Okay, can we just move on? Okay, and then here are my RQ2. How to overcome barriers to effective English language teaching in SK Sediau by solutions and strategies suggested and done by the English teachers at the school. So all of the participants are able to give solutions and strategies with things that they have done. For example, for participant 1, he give about tandem learning. His students do not have this stable language proficiency, right? So he do an approach, although without this lack of technologies, he still try to use Skype with one laptop for his students to communicate with native students from another country, which is Singapore, and through Skype. And then participant 2 and participant 3, they taught about mentoring and divisions of students according to their levels. Okay, so they all mention about teacher resilience, which are motivations to overcome these challenges. Like we basically have to have motivations for our students to have this better learning. If we cannot have this, if we cannot be motivated, how come we teach our students better? And then teacher strategies and education approach. Next. Okay, discussions. Okay, as I said, it leads to the rural-urban gap. Okay, the ability to English proficiency, workload. These are all have similar for all the participants. So they all have encountered it, and they all verified that these challenges are actually what they have been through in the rural primary school. Okay, next. Okay, and these are the teacher resilience. All of them had encountered solutions such as motivations and love for students, relationship building to create a learning atmosphere and students' interest in English, to help them to help themselves and their students' performance. And another thing is educational aspiration, which is voice strong interest in education. Okay, next. Okay, conclusion is that all of the teachers, three participants, there are only three English teachers at SK Seliao, face challenges in the school, and then they use adaptive strategies, as I said before, like further reading and division of levels. And then, despite the obstacles, teachers committed to bring the rural-urban education gap, aiming to equip students with skills for a competitive globalized world. Okay, next. Okay, here are the recommendations for researcher. Like for me, a researcher is that to adhere to timelines, to organize tasks systematically and use this method approach. And then for English teachers, they have to go to more CPD to be updated to the works info, and to the more updated to more teaching up to date teaching strategies. And then for the school administrator and management, to balance workload and teaching, as well as acknowledge unique challenges of teachers at school and understand the importance of ESL. Okay, next. Okay, implications for teachers trainees, they understand the unique challenges of rural primary schools and seek modules as well as develop skills to engage with students in rural areas. Next, implications for English teachers in rural schools is that rural English teachers at rural primary schools who have similar challenges as SK Seliao can adopt the method suited to their students' unique needs and collaborate to share resources and foster resilience such as motivation. Okay, educational institution and training organizations equip trainees with practical skills for managing rural classrooms and partnership with other institutions like a rural primary school. And then educational institutions and training organizations to create policy and to focus on this rural primary school rather than always monitor on the rural primary schools from time to time to resolve challenges that they may have. Okay, next. Okay, thank you very much. Next. Okay, here are my references, but specifically for my past researches. Okay, so from me, any questions from the floor?
Thank you, Kumaira, for your excellent presentation. Before we move on, I would like to ask the panelists if there are any questions.
Okay. Okay, Myra. One question. How do you gather the data through observations?
Through observation. Like I said, I went to the school and then I took pictures and went to the library. Can you go to the library? Okay. So as I said, I went to observations for the environments and the rooms, and the observations for the classroom, for the lesson plans, to be documented into document analysis. So here's the school. Okay, if you can see it clearly, it's actually they are all palm plantation. There are villages around the schools. Okay, for observation. You asked me how I do the observation, right? Yeah, it's like
You went there.
you went there. Yes, I went there. Okay, I went there. And then I observe my participants, how they speak, because it's a semi-structured interview. So like I just, whatever questions I ask, they answer it, and I observe probably their body language, okay? And then how they say, like, I love my students, like for participant 1, to show his motivation in teaching his students, like that. Do I answer your question? Okay.
And make sure in your writing also you include the word participants because
Yes.
this is quali.
Yes, I do
Okay.
include participants.
You don't use
Quali study.
respondent.
But here you
Oh,
It's not
because in the
respondents.
format, that's why I do R1/P1 because respondent 1 or participant 1.
No.
Because in the
For
format.
qualitative, it is participants.
Okay.
Quantitative, respondent.
Alright.
You just change.
Alright.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Humaira. Alright. First of all, I want to talk about your slides. Now, usually on Viva slides, normally there wouldn't be too much of words.
Mhm.
This is quite wordy.
Okay, I understand.
You see that, right? When you see your friends presenting the common slides for Viva, not so much. And also you have to, even if you want to put a lot of words, you have to you have to point out the keywords.
Yes, I do point out.
How do you point out?
Probably in that one, I didn't do
Not on your slide?
yes, because I do
Just try to open the application.
application.
Okay, kalau macam okay like this one, yeah, you okay.
Wait, okay. No. Just now,
Previous, okay, here.
Oh, because I only said that, okay, here I 9, 2, and then I did not
so
reading.
the point is, listen first. Point out, let's say you have 10 past studies in your thesis.
You only take a few significant one. Now this is for all. When you are doing presentation, you can't be showing everything because you have limited time.
Yes.
You show only the significant one. Let's say 2. You take the 2, you make the bigger font, the font bigger, and then you highlight by maybe highlighting different colors, some of the keywords. That is my point. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. You don't need to show all because we obviously know in your thesis, obviously because you're a good student, Myra, we know the quality to you will give a lot. But for presentation wise, we want to see a communication skill. So that's why you don't need to put a lot. Okay. Number 2, on your slides, as you can see, can you show some of the observation checklist or whatsoever? Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. So what is the point of you showing us this? I know that you have it here, but it is too small.
Oh, because
Communication skill, not only verbal, apa semua tu lah. When you have that, meaning here for me, I would just screenshot, make it larger. You just want to see not all, a few section would do. Because yeah, we understand, when we read the title itself, we understand what you're trying to say. The thing is, on the slide creation analysis that we are looking at your slide right now, because you are giving this very small one, it's quite difficult for us to read. And also talking about small, there are a few other slides quite small, right? The analysis itself, is it? Quite small. So in the future, I hope you would consider that. Okay. Next, are you okay?
because I just want to say something.
Yeah.
For the slides and the place, I purposely make it like this is 11 and not 11, like like how we write it on a
Yeah.
so it appears smaller in the paper than on the slides.
I understand. You should have given a thought about that. Yes. Like for instance, this one. Okay, that page.
Alright.
You see, because this is only not for us, it's for your friends as well. They will want to see what color is that, but they can't see it. It gives an impression. Okay. Can you go to your finding RQ1? Yeah.
Oh, yes, that one.
I hope that next
Next time, don't use what do you call that? Short form, is it?
forms, right?
Yeah, it's quite difficult for us to go back and forth. What is it? Because this is the first time we look at the study, so it will be quite difficult for us to make relationship. Okay, and there are, you said that based on the conclusion, there are only 5, right? Challenges that you actually choose. So I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The rest, what is the name? I don't know. What is contohnya? For instance, because you didn't. What is QE? What is SP? Because it's not stated here, right? Am I right? It's not stated there. So I'm wondering, why do you put that thing if it's not stated here? So anticipate things that you have to understand. This is the first time the audience see your thesis. You get me or not? This is your makanan every day. You look at this, that's why you know. Next time, because I know you will definitely do your master, you will definitely do your PhD. Try not to do things like this. Okay. So what is QE anyway?
Can I just
Yeah.
one by one?
No.
Okay.
That one I know already because it's stated here. Starting from QE.
QE, quality of education,
Ah.
students perception, students attitude, management influence, teacher collaboration, students English proficiency, and then English environment.
Because it's not.
I'm very sorry because I actually catching all the time. That's why I just move on to
You
the
can just cut it
discussion.
off. You can just cut. You stop until R. You get me or not? Because R is here.
Because I just want to give you every detail.
That's the thing. The thing it makes you look ambitious, but then you can't really achieve what you were trying to achieve. This is not only for Humaira, yeah, for everyone, the junior as well. I understand that the bell is there. Okay. This is good actually. This is a good topic. But for me, I think for a degree punya level, it's quite a lot juga lah kan.
Yeah, I actually bring my manuscript.
Yeah, but it's okay. But yeah, it's good that you were able to finish it lah. Because some of your friends are apparently not finished analyzing the data kan. Okay, tak apa. Okay. I wish you all the best in writing up the thesis. Okay. Thank you, Humaira. Okay.
Yeah, I will take your.
No. It's okay.
Yeah.
Alright, thank you. Okay.
We appreciate the panelists for their valuable questions and feedback, and thank you for the presenter for providing thoughtful answers. Our next presenter is Nurul Azina binti Khairafka, who will present her research on training teachers' perceptions on the efficiency of ADUP 3053 in the production of digital teaching aids during practicum. Please welcome Nurul Azina.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, MC, and a very good morning I bid to my fellow presenters, the audience, and also my esteemed panels for today, Madam Nurliza and Ms. Atika. Okay, so today I'm going to tell about my research, which is titled The Perception of Teacher Trainees on the Efficacy of EDUP 3053 in producing digital teaching aids during practicum. So before that, I would like to highlight a few keywords here, which is the first one, EDUP 3053. So what is EDUP 3053? It refers to a course that we, the batch 2021-2025, took during our second year of degree. It is technology in teaching and learning. And as for digital teaching aids refers to the digital tools or resources that we employ during our teaching, specifically for the study during our practicum. Okay, next slide. So now we're going to look at the background of my study.
I'm so sorry. Can you just put the phone away?
Oh,
yeah, so sorry.
Emotional support.
Emotional support.
Okay, so okay.
Just give her a pencil. No, seriously, it really helps. It is a research,
Okay. So for the background of my study, in the 21st, as we know, in the 21st century, technology has become a very foundational part of our daily lives, especially these days in education. It is essential in modern life because it enhances engagement during education. It is stated by Bray 2009 and Agar 2019. Okay. And this transformative potential has been formally recognized in the Malaysia's educational blueprint, whereas the blueprint 2013 to 2025 emphasizes technology integration to improve students' learning outcomes. Okay, so in alignment with these goals, the ICGM, I would say, has introduced the course EDUP 3053 in hopes to equip trainee teachers with technology skills for teaching and learning. So this is the background of my study. Okay, so for the problem statement, however, despite the acknowledged benefits of technology integration in teaching and learning, there is still a noticeable gap in how effective these tools
are applied in the classroom. For example, Gagamas Sefat in 2020 stated that many teachers are hesitant to use technology in their teaching. So why are they hesitant? De La Rosa stated that newer teachers tend to be more resourceful, but they have less exposure, which causes them to have negative views on the integration of technology. And then a few other more factors stated by Talila et al. 2022, limited access to computers, poor internet, and technical issues hinder technology use in schools. So these are some factors that hinder the technology use in schools. And I would like to study my study examines how the course EDUP 3053 equips teacher trainees to overcome these issues and employ the technology effectively in their teaching. Next. Okay, so these are my research objectives and research questions. Next. Okay, so for my research hypothesis, I proposed an alternative hypothesis whereas there is a significant difference between the perceptions of male and female teacher trainees, regarding the efficacy of EDUP 3053 course in assisting teacher trainees' ability to produce digital teaching aids during practicum. Next. Okay, so for my research theories, in my research, I referred to two theories, which is the first one, TPAC, and the second one is effective filter. So for TPAC itself is included in the RMQ for technology in teaching and learning. So TPAC is technological, pedagogical, content knowledge, and effective filter it is a part of Krashen's theory in language learning. So basically, digital teaching aids when employed in the classroom can create a comfortable and engaging classroom, which boosts engagement among students because it lowers the effective filter. Okay, next. So for the significance of the research, I'm focusing on three aspects, which is for teacher trainees, IPGM lecturers, the Ministry of Education, and then the IPGM course developers. Next. Okay, so here are some past researches that are related to my study. I am going to highlight two research that I think is important. So first is by Marine and Castaneda 2023, where they argued that digital literacy is key for engaging teaching. So this study supports the course's role in preparing teacher trainees to employ technology in their classroom. And Nur Laili et al. 2024 also stated that digital training boosts confidence in technology use, which highlights the impact of the course on teacher trainees. Okay, next. Okay, so for my research design, I employed quantitative research, which is the survey. And for my population and sample, the population is 57, which is the August 2021 and July 2025 intakes population, 57 excluding me. And for the sample, I took about 52 respondents based on the Kratzy and Morgan 1970 sampling table. Okay, next. Okay, so for the instrument used, it is questionnaire. I used a 5-point Likert scale and I adapted it from 4 prior studies. Okay, so from Ali 2019, Megawati, Mayanta, and Akujize. Okay, so after I have made the questionnaire, I distributed it through WhatsApp using Google Forms. And then there are 4 sections in the questionnaire. Next. Okay, so here are my research procedures. First, I obtained approval from experts and then obtained respondents' consent and then administered the pilot study to RPGs. And then I measured the items' reliability using Cronbach's Alpha and then obtain respondents' consent and then collect data once again and then analyze the data. Next. Okay, so for data analysis procedures, I use JAMOB version 2.62, descriptive and inferential analysis. So for RQ1 and RQ2, I use descriptive statistics, and then for RQ3, I use independent sample t-test. And this is the mean interpretation table that I referred to. Okay, next. So this is the demographic data of my respondents. Next. Okay, so moving on to data findings and discussion for the first RQ. So the first RQ is, what are the perceptions of teacher trainees regarding the efficacy of EDUP 3053 course in assisting them producing digital teaching aids during their practicum? So based on the data findings, it shows that teacher trainees hold very highly positive perception regarding the efficacy of the course. So it is based on the mean here, 4.23 and 4.69. So the highest mean is 4.69 and the lowest mean is 4.23. So based on the findings, it stated that the high mean means that the teacher trainees perceive the course as highly effective and beneficial in helping them to produce digital teaching aids during their practical. This study is also supported by Hatos et al. 2022, where it stated that digital training significantly boosts teaching confidence in real classroom settings. So based on the results, it can be seen that teacher trainees' confidence are high when through the course EDUP 3053, and this also supports the EPAT framework earlier by showing that EDUP 3053 does help teacher trainees to effectively combine technology, their pedagogy, and the content of the subject. Next. Okay, next is, what are the most commonly used digital tools in the production of teaching aids by trainee teachers during practicum? Okay, so based on the findings, the most commonly used tool is Canva and interactive tools. Interactive tools refer to Kahoot, Quizzes, Mentimeter, and a lot more. So based on these findings, it displays that teacher trainees have a strong preference for versatile and interactive platforms over traditional and static presentations such as PowerPoint, because PowerPoint, it has very low frequency. Okay, so this is supported by the previous study by Borden and Hart, where this preference emphasizes students' engagement during teaching and learning. So it supports the effective filter hypothesis by Krashen earlier, where if students are engaged, it is easier for them to acquire language. So basically, when teacher trainees employ the versatile and interactive platforms, students' effective filter will be lowered and they will acquire language better. Next. Okay, next, is there a significant difference in the perceptions of male and female trainee teachers regarding the efficacy? Okay, so basically through the findings, looking at the p-value, there is no significant difference among the perceptions of male and female teacher trainees. They both hold very similar perceptions about the course. For example, and this is supported by a previous study from Buzar et al. 2024, where they found that both men and women use technology in education in similar ways, with minimal difference in their usage patterns and perceptions. So because the p-value is higher, is greater than 0.05, then it automatically means that my alternative hypothesis is rejected. Next. Okay, so these are the conclusions from my study. So from RO1, teacher trainees perceive the course as effective and valuable. And my RO2, teacher trainees favor a selection of accessible, user-friendly tools. And then lastly, there is no significant difference between male and female teacher trainees' perceptions about the course. Next. Okay, so for implications, firstly, for IPGM lecturers, through this study, they can recognize the importance of the course and they can employ a lot of a diverse range of digital tools in their teaching to help prepare teacher trainees with a technology-driven world. Okay, and as for teacher trainees, they will also recognize the importance of digital tools in their teaching. So from now on, maybe if they prefer traditional teaching, then they will move on to digital teaching aids during their teaching. Okay, so for MOE and IPGM course developers, when they recognize the importance of digital literacy training for teachers, maybe MOE can invest to continue improvement of the course to make sure it aligns with the current trends and it is aligned with the evolvement of the world. And similarly for course
course developers. Okay, as for recommendations, firstly, I recommend to diversify the sample. As for now, I only focused on our batch. However, I think if I diversify the sample to other teaching institutions, then it will provide a more generalizable results of the findings. Okay, and then next, incorporate qualitative methods. So this research, I only rely on the questionnaire results. So it is not as in-depth as if I were to employ like interviews or focus groups. And then lastly, longitudinal approach. So basically, longitudinal approach is for me to study the course's effectiveness in a long time. For example, even after practicum. Like that. Okay, next. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Nuradina, for the wonderful presentation. Now, I would like to ask the panelists if they have any further questions or feedback.
Okay.
Thank you, Nurul Adina. Okay, my question here is, based on your research question 1, what are the perceptions of trainee teachers regarding the efficacy? But in your findings, you stated that teacher trainees perceive EDUP 3053 as highly effective and beneficial. Is the question should be the effectiveness, the cost, or efficacy of the course?
It is the efficacy of the course. I think
But your answers, your findings are highly effective. So, which is which?
it's actually the efficacy. I'm very
What is
sorry.
different then? Effectiveness, efficacy. What is different?
I think efficacy is for the efficiency of the course. I'm sorry, I'm not quite sure.
Self-esteem, self-efficacy, referring to human. Kan? Now this is cost.
So it's the effectiveness of
Betul. I think it's more to effectiveness.
Because you want to check whether that particular course, making sure the students, the training teacher know how to use technology kan? That is effectiveness.
Okay, thank you so much for
Efficacy
the
is on
recommendation.
using the cost and resources.
Okay.
Budget lah. Okay. That is one. Number 2, can you go back to your instrument use questionnaire? I just want you to clarify things. Okay. So your section B is respondents' perception on the efficacy. Okay. And sections, so that one obviously to find out for RQ, which RQ?
RQ1.
Okay. For section D, the perception of course application?
It is also for RQ1.
RQ1. So it is better organization. What do you think?
Or to include them in the same.
Yeah, so that we know RQ1 ni sahaja, RQ2 ini sahaja, so that less risk to be asked like this.
Okay.
But because your I think you did, I think your organization is good and it's clear. Why is good? Because it's clear. Okay. Can you explain a bit on TPAC? Because you said that's your theory kan?
Technological, pedagogical, and
How many elements you have there?
It has 3 elements.
3
main elements,
which are?
technology itself, pedagogy, and the content.
Okay.
However, it also studies the intersection between all these 3 elements. So maybe technological, pedagogical knowledge, and then technological content knowledge. But I think through TPAC, teachers are able to implement technology in a more meaningful way because they know how to apply technology with content in a more effective way.
Okay, all right. Yeah, you answered my question.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Checking.
We appreciate the panelists for their valuable questions and feedback. Thank you for the presenter for providing thoughtful answers. Lastly, in language lab 2, we have Nurul Amira who will present present her research on exploring PISMP test for training teachers, attitudes and interests toward reading English fiction. Please give a round of applause for Nurul Amira.
Itulah ada cakap juga dekat lain sila authority cakap lah pada laras. Letaklah pada seorang. Tapi tak nak. Jadi kena pakai study.
May I start? Okay. Assalamualaikum and good morning. I am to Miss Atika and Madam and all of the audience that is present today. So, first of all, my name is Nurul Amira Akumar binti Amaliki and my research is titled Exploring PISMP TESOL Training Teachers' Attitude and Interest Towards Reading English Fiction Books. Alright, so first of all, before going through the presentation, I would like to first highlight few keywords, and that is on attitude. So attitude in the context of my study means how training teachers perceive reading English fiction, and interest means in accordance to the Oxford Dictionary, interest means the drive to one's behavior. So in this case, it is what drives training teachers to start reading. And I also like to highlight on books, because books in the context of my study include digital, printed, graphic novels, illustrated novels, light novels, and a lot more. So it is quite a wide variety. Alright, next. Alright, so first of all is the background of my study. So first of all, it is the MOE educational blueprint that highlights the importance of bilingual proficiency and how English teachers need to be proficient since they need to meet the CEFR. So we can see that the importance of reading by linguistically and how it broadens knowledge and lifelong learning, and all of these are attributes important for a teacher. And next is the benefits of reading fiction specifically. So for fiction, it is great for, of course, language proficiency, personal growth, which is extremely important, and cognitive abilities, soft skills, all of the skills that are important for a teacher. Alright, next. So the problem statement, the problem statement here is a bit different compared to the printed one because I made last minute amendments. Alright, so for problem statement, training teachers are inclined to read for necessity, academic text, rather than reading for pleasure, fiction. This is according to Parents and Asthma in 2023. So I have discovered that there is minimal research on their attitude towards reading English fiction. So I believe that we need a holistic research on the multifaceted factors affecting interest. Why? Because interest and attitude is has high correlation. Alright, next. So the purpose of my study is two. One of them is that PISMP. I want to know more about PISMP TESOL training teachers' attitude towards reading English fiction books, and next is the factors affecting PISMP TESOL training teachers' interest towards reading English fiction books. Alright, so these are my objectives. Next. These are my research questions. Next. So here are the few research significance. Alright, for training teachers, this research is made for their self-awareness and self-improvement. So what I mean by self-awareness and self-improvement in this case is for the training teachers themselves, so that they can be more motivated actually, and they can apply the factors that they learn or the attitude they have learned in their classroom in the future. And next, for IPGM administration, it is great for resource development and allocations. Is when we know whether personal preferences play a big role in teacher trainees, so they can allocate adequate resources. Alright, next is curriculum designers. It is great for guidance for teacher preparation program because now they know, for example, they know that autonomy is important for their interest, so they can prepare a course that is where training teachers can select their own reading for literature. Alright, so these are the few related class research by Tania Baba and Faizal Rosta Afendi in 2020, Mark Selin 2023, international study, and then Fristrom in Switzerland in 2023, and all of them have shown that students and primary schools, right, they have positive perception towards reading, but they need to have autonomy and they have ecosystem reading habits. Next. It's a related past research. So this one is for Indonesia and it's qualitative and shows again how autonomy is important. And then next, the research by
law, and she has shown that the students have positive attitude. But this is in Hong Kong. Alright, next. So the research design for my study is qualitative case study. Okay, next. So the population example is actually 57, okay, excluding me. PISMP TESOL 31 pictures, and the sample is only 3. I only have 3 participants for this research. Right. So the instruments for data collection that I have done is 2. One of them is semi-structured interview containing 11 questions and document analysis, specifically reading log. So these are the example of the reading log. Okay, next. So these are my research procedures. Next. These are the data collection procedures. Next. The data analysis procedure. Okay, now we have arrived at data findings and discussion for RQ1. So for RQ1, the question is, what is the attitude of PISMP TESOL training teachers towards reading English fiction book? So now for attitude, alright. So for the first RQ, I have 3 teams. Okay, for the first team, I have reading confidence. So participant A assumes himself to be an intermediate reader, while participant B has a low confidence since she likes to read far easier books because she thinks that she can easily comprehend those books compared to complex books. While participant C has high confidence in her reading abilities because she likes to mention the amount of book that she read every year. Alright, so next is reading enjoyment. Reading enjoyment, for participant A, he had explained that he likes reading fiction because of the interesting element in fiction that is unexpected to him. While participant B has shown a liking to the interactive reading because she likes to pretend to be detective and discover all of the plot twists and all of that, while participant C really favor diverse experiences that she can read from various books. Next is for perceived value of reading. So all of the participants have shown that they admit that they know that there are a lot of values in reading and they believe that those values can help them. So for participant A, he appreciates vocabulary and writing style because it can help in developing his personal skills. While participant B is more into vocabulary, reading speed, and critical thinking skill because she likes the genre crime and thriller and those things need for her brain to work. And then for participant C is empathy and self-reflection because participant C like that she can reflect on herself when she reads certain books. Next. So this is for RQ2 and the question is, what are the factors influencing PISMP TESOL training teachers' interest toward reading English fiction books? Now is the factors. Alright, next. So for your information, there are 10 teams for this RQ. So this is the first 3 teams. For the first team is characters engagement because participant A is really into wanting to know more about characters' motivation as he read through, while participant B really like when she can relate to the characters. For example, she said that she liked cute characters because she can relate with cute characters. Alright, for participant C, she has this emotional engagement with the main characters because she feels like she can relate and connect with the characters. Right, for the next team is language preferences. For participant A, he prefers specifically the language English and he likes complex writing styles. And for participant B, she prefers simple writing styles because we remember, right, she has a lower confidence compared to her other 2 participants. While participant C really likes sentence construction and vocabulary because she believes that the sentence construction and vocabulary in books are different compared to the daily conversations. So all participants A, B, and C have shown that curiosity is one of the main factors as to why they start reading. So for participant A, he likes historical theme. Participant B is interested to explore more about mental health. Participant C likes to read more and more about philosophy. Alright, next. Right, so these are the 3 other teams. For participant A, he really likes to discuss with his friends even though his circle of friends doesn't read. For participant B, she is always books are always recommended to her. She is always encouraged by her friends to read, and that's one of the main reasons
why she started reading. So we can see how social influence is very significant for participant B. And for participant C, she is a bit different. Of course, she likes discussion. She likes to discuss about the books that she read. But she is also pressured by the online community in YouTube, specifically what we call as BookTube. Alright, so for the next tip is genre preferences. Participant A and C share the similar taste, which is they really like literary fiction. But participant B like a lot of more genres like crime, thriller, and mental health. Like for the third theme is format preference. So A, B, and C all prefer printed format. But participant A and C admit the convenience, the accessibility, the features that digital reading brings to them. But participant B highlighted how she dislikes digital reading, digital books because she encountered a lot of issues with the e-books. Next.
You.
Next. Sorry. So these are the other three themes. Okay. So I would like to highlight that these three themes are not as important as the previous themes, but academic influence does not directly plays a role, but it plays a role because participant A like challenging language in his reading because it can improve his academic writing skill, while participant B like the vocabulary that reading provides to her because it helps her in writing, in doing presentations, in doing assignments, while participant C like complex sentence structure in her reading because it can improve her overall skill during the courses. For next is plot engagement. I was surprised because plot doesn't play that much of a role compared to characters because all A, B, and C always just briefly mention plot engagement, and they really like characters engagement better than plot engagement. So next is time availability. For all of them are affected by time when they are reading. For participant A, he likes to read when he has free time in the evening from if I'm not wrong from 5 to 7 when he doesn't have anything to do. While participant B and C state that they have when they are busy they lose the motivation to read. But for participant C particularly, she really likes to read. She always read before she sleep. So she during the interview she is busy with thesis, so she doesn't read even though she really likes reading. Alright, next. Alright, so for participant A, B, and C, all of them have shown how reading environment affect reading. But for participant A, he's a bit special here because he's the one that affect the environment. In his rental house, he's the one that starts reading and his friends are encouraged to read when they see him reading. So he's the one contributing to the reading environment. For participants B and C, right, both of them are always annoyed with distractions, particularly for participant B. Participant B is easily distracted when there are conversations when she is reading because she will lose track of what she's reading. For participant C, she knows that she's a good reader. And when her friends say, "Oh, you are reading," she's like, "Please don't distract my reading. I know I'm a good reader." That's what she said. Okay, next. So for conclusion, this is for RQ1. So we can see that training teachers have positive attitude, okay, to shape their approach to reading. And for RQ2, we can see that there are these diverse factors because there are 10 themes, right? So personal preferences, external factors, situational factors, all of the things affect their interest in reading. Next. So for recommendations, this is for educators. So for educators, perhaps they can make research on the gamification of reading because from my research, we can see that how social influence, academic influence affect their interest in reading. Well, next is the training program. They can, from my research, we can see that social influence, personal preferences are important in fostering this reading activities. So we can make research on the role of book clubs or literature discussions to foster the reading culture, and how digital resources, because we're talking about personal preferences, digital resources offer like a wide availability of multiple books, and we need to see whether personal preferences truly affect their interest in reading. And for future research, I would suggest to do longitudinal studies because we can see from training teachers from their first year here to their last year, whether they improve their teaching skills by reading or not. So I can do like in the span of like 5 years. Next are the implications for IPGM, social influence. Curriculum designers can enrich teacher training programs by weaving English fiction reading into the curriculum, because we know that we currently have literature. Maybe we can do something like English fiction reading into the curriculum to see how this can foster a reading culture. For English teachers, we can see how important reading enjoyment is for their attitude, to have positive attitude, and when they can start shifting literacy instruction policies to focus more on engagement, more on the fun things other than the traditional reading comprehension skills. Lastly, training teachers can develop strategies to foster similar love for reading in their future classroom, because they know how time is important, how environment is important, and they can try to maybe make a reading time or make a suitable environment for them to read, a reading corner or something like that. Alright, next. Okay, that's all from me. It's time for the Q&A.
Thank you, Akmal, for the incredible presentation. Now I would like to ask the panelists if they have any further questions or comments.
Okay, thank you, Amira, Nurul Amira. Okay, look at the title. Okay, exploring that's a teacher's attitude interest. Okay, please go to the research objective slides. Okay, investigate the attitude. Okay, that is in your title kan. And then second, factors influencing teacher training's interest. Factors, interest. Okay, so can you relate with your title?
So how do I relate with this the title? Alright, so my title, can you go back to the title? The teacher studies attitude and interest towards reading English fiction. I see. So what's clear here is that I want to know more about their attitude and interest.
The factors?
So
Because you talked quite a long way just now for finding that you have 10 factors.
Okay, go to slide related past research. Habits and students' attitude. Okay, and then students' reading habits and skills. Okay, quanti. Yours quali. And then down there, motivation and interest. Quali. So motivation and interest. So how you relate? You relate with the interest.
yes.
So the motivation there. Okay, apa next? Related past research. Next slide. Exploring student interest. Perceptions students towards reading contemporary fictions. So that is quali, and then next we mix method. Okay, and then the next slide, research design, quali, case study. So whose is this? Yours.
Yes.
So the topic, title.
Title. Attitude and interest towards reading English fiction.
Okay, title. So what can you relate with all those that I've highlighted just now?
Okay, so past research, right? So can you go back to the past research? Okay. So for example, how do I relate? Reading habit and student attitude. So we have here right now attitude. So it's similar to my study, attitude, but it employs quantitative study. And here we have reading habit and skill. So this study also encompasses their attitude, because to foster a good reading habit, you need to have positive attitude towards reading. So this study also includes attitude. For this study, the motivation and interest. So right now we have interest. So they study the factors behind interest. So it's similar to my study too, because they have found that higher motivation to read English fiction book when they have the autonomy, like when they have the autonomy to choose. And in my case, they have their own personal preferences. Alright, next. Next is exploring students' reading interest. Alright, it's reading interest, but in this case, it's through extensive reading course. but it's still on what affect their reading interest. So here we can see personal interest. The answer is really similar to my study. And then the perception. Okay, so perception, since I define attitude, how they perceive reading English fiction, so perception can be similar to attitude. Next is also a case study. It's also about fiction, because not many research focus on fiction, but just reading in general. So I really like this study because it helps me to understand their children's attitude or perception towards reading fiction. And it shows positive attitude, but this is not in the context of training teachers. So I did another research.
So, okay, we understand that. So, try to relate a bit with the fact.
We have 10 factors with that topic, with the student attitude and interest.
Actually,
No, with the title just now.
or with the
Title? Yeah, with the factors. Okay, lah tu. We're gonna see because we wanna see that whether you understand or not. That why do you put that 10 factors to? What is relationship with the attitude and interest?
because since it's about exploring, so not only do I want to know I want the reason behind the attitude.
Yes, that's the thing. That's how I see it lah. The factors for the attitude is good because of what? These are the factors. They are interesting.
These are the factors. That's why, kan? I wish that you put there exploring PISMP tester training teachers attitude and interest toward reading English fiction books titik bertindih a case study. So when we read that case study, because this is again our first time, because when we look at it, it seems like a quantity pun ada ni. But then we look at there are 3 participants. But I want to know what is the way of you choosing 3 sample? Who are these 3 and what is the the way that you choose that 3 particular person?
So I decided to do purposive sampling, right? Usually they have this criteria. I interviewed them and then I try to find their reading reading level or their assumption of their reading level. And all of the 3 have different reading confidence or can say their perception of their reading skill because A is intermediate, B is low, and while C is high. That's why I chose those 3 to make sure that I get various perspectives.
But how about the rest of
58 minus 57 minus 3, 50 berapa?
7.
57 minus 3 will be 54. What happened to the 54? Meaning you didn't ask them, right? One to one. You just read. Maknanya basically even though it's purposive. Yeah, what is your pilot study respondent? I mean your participants.
For case study, I was told that pilot study is not required.
Really? I have different school of thought here. Okay. Alright, no. Because both of us we are not a qualitative experts. And even different qualitative lecturer or supervisor would have different opinion. Okay, alright. That would be from me. Okay, anything else? Okay. Okay. Alright, thank you very much, Amira. Okay.
We would also like to thank the presenters for their devoted and thoughtful responses. Please remain seated while the panelists finalize the mark for the best presenter. I now invite panelist 1, Madam Noriza binti Abdul Razak, and panelist 2, Ms. Nurul Atika binti Muhammad Nuri, to come in to present the award for the best presenter.
Alright, come.
Okay. Well, here, depan. Okay. Kak Hizal dah pergi sampai tadi. After careful consideration, the panelists have selected the best presenter for the session. It is my pleasure to announce that the award for the best presenter goes to Nur Humaira Aslami binti Muhammad Hanif.
I thought there were so many questions.
No.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, wait, everyone else come.
Okay, everyone.
The others. Yes, Amira, you can stay after this.
Alright.